Ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went in? Or stared at a page for 10 minutes, reading the same sentence over and over again, unable to focus, unable to retain a thing? If you have, you're not alone. But what if I told you your brain's performance? It isn't fixed. You can actually train your brain to focus deeper, remember faster, and think sharper. Not with magic, not with supplements, but with science. Here's the thing. Most people believe your brain peaks in your 20s and then slowly declines. That memory loss is just part of aging. That attention span? Doomed in the smartphone era. But what if all of that is wrong? In this video, we're diving into 5 science-backed ways to upgrade your brain starting today. We're not talking about vague advice like eat better or sleep more. We're going into the actual biology, the real mechanisms behind memory, attention, and neuroplasticity, and how you can unlock them in your daily life. By the end of this video, you won't just understand how your brain works. You'll know exactly what to do to make it work better and longer. Let's get started. Let's face it, we're living in an age of distraction. The average person checks their phone over 90 times a day. Notifications, emails, videos, messages. Your brain is constantly switching tasks and paying the price. And memory? Yeah, that's suffering too. Ever struggled to remember someone's name just seconds after being introduced? Or forgot where you parked your car? Here's the hard truth. Our brains, they weren't built for this kind of environment. Thousands of years ago, your brain evolved to track patterns, escape predators, and remember where the food was. But today, it's being flooded with an endless buffet of noise. That constant stimulation trains your brain to expect novelty, which destroys deep focus. Meanwhile, lack of use makes your memory muscles weak, just like an unused body muscle. And it gets worse. Stress, multitasking. They've become the default mode of thinking. And guess what? Chronic stress literally shrinks your hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for memory and learning. But here's the twist. Your brain is still incredibly adaptable. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, doesn't vanish after childhood. It's alive. It's active. Right now. The problem isn't your brain. It's how you've been using it. Or more accurately, how modern life has been training it the wrong way. The good news? We can reverse that. Starting now, we'll explore 5 real science-backed methods that reshape your brain for better focus and memory. Not hacks, not brain games, but things that actually change how your neurons connect. To understand how to boost memory and focus, we need to look inside your brain at the cellular level. Let's start with neurons. You've got about 86 billion of them. These little guys, they talk to each other through tiny electrical impulses and chemical messengers called hot neurotransmitters. Every time you form a memory, solve a puzzle, or stay focused, that's your neurons firing in complex patterns. Now meet one dopamine, the reward chemical. It's what makes your brain say, "This matters, pay attention." When dopamine levels rise, you become more alert, more motivated, more ready to learn. Next up, BDNF. That stands for brain-derived neurotrophic factor. It acts like fertilizer for your neurons, helping them grow, survive, and form new connections. Higher BDNF levels, it's a better memory, sharper thinking, and even resistance to brain diseases. Now let's talk structure. The prefrontal cortex, right behind your forehead, is your brain's command center. It handles focus, decision-making, and self-control. When it's strong and active, you can block distractions and stay on task longer. Deep inside your brain, you'll find the hippocampus. Think of it as your brain's librarian. It files away short-term experiences and stores them as long-term memories. But here's the problem. Chronic stress, sleep deprivation, and a lack of stimulation, they shrink your hippocampus and weaken your memory. But there's good news. Your brain isn't static. Thanks to something called neuroplasticity, your brain can rewire itself. New experiences, new challenges, even new thoughts can reshape the wiring inside your brain. Think of your brain like a forest. Each time you repeat a thought or action, you carve a tiny path. Repeat it enough. It becomes a trail. Eventually, a highway. And when you stop using old paths, they fade. That's how habits form. That's how memory sticks. That's how focus deepens. Not just by willpower, but by literally rewiring the brain itself. Now, in the next section, we'll show you how to use all of this to build a better brain. Let's go. So what happens when you don't take care of your brain's memory and focus systems? Let's start with attention. Your brain is like a spotlight. It can shine brightly, but only in one direction at a time. The more you force it to multitask, the dimmer that light becomes. You start switching tasks more often, which leads to something called attention residue, leftover mental clutter from the last task. That's why, after scrolling through social media, it feels harder to read, to study, even to have a real conversation. Your brain is stuck in swipe mode, unable to switch back to deep thinking. And over time, this shallow focus rewires your brain. It becomes harder to sit still, to read long texts, to even watch a full movie without reaching for your phone. Now let's talk about memory. When you don't actively use your memory, like recalling facts, repeating ideas, visualizing things, your hippocampus becomes understimulated, like a muscle that starts to atrophy. And the result? Forgetfulness. Not because of age, but because of disuse. Here's the scary part. Chronic stress, inflammation, and poor sleep can physically shrink your hippocampus. And that shrinkage is strongly linked to Alzheimer's and long-term cognitive decline. Ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why? Or read the same sentence 4 times before it finally stuck? That's not just a random glitch. That's your brain asking for help. Even creativity suffers, because without memory, your brain can't connect ideas. And without attention, it can't hold on to them long enough to build anything meaningful. The result? A scattered mind, foggy thinking, and growing frustration that you're not performing at your true potential. But here's the good news. It's reversible. And in the next section, we'll show you exactly how. Let me tell you a quick story. In 2007, a group of London taxi drivers volunteered for a brain study. Why taxi drivers? Because in London, They have to memorize over 25,000 streets and thousands of landmarks. A mental challenge so intense, they call it the knowledge. So researchers scanned their brains. And what they found was incredible. Compared to right-handed people, these cab drivers had significantly larger hippocampi, the very part of the brain responsible for memory and spatial navigation. Even more amazing, the longer they'd been driving, the larger that brain region had grown. That's right. Their hippocampus physically expanded, based on how much they used it. Literal, measurable. Brain growth. Now, what does that mean for you? It means your brain can physically change based on how you use it. This isn't just theory. This is biology, and it applies to more than just memory. Studies show that focus, creativity, emotional regulation, even willpower, all improve when you reshape your mental habits. That reshaping? It's called neuroplasticity. You are not stuck with the brain you have today. In fact, every small decision you make, what you read, what you focus on, what you avoid, it's all sculpting your brain's future. So now that you understand this power, let's use it. In the next section, we'll explore 5 science-backed techniques you can start today to boost memory and focus. No supplements required. Let's put theory into action. Here are 5 science-backed ways to boost your brain, starting today. Number 1. Focus training. The Pomodoro effect. In a world full of distractions, focus is a superpower. One proven method is the Pomodoro technique. Work for 25 minutes. Rest for 5. Repeat. After 4 rounds, take a longer break. This trains your prefrontal cortex to stay on task, like a muscle that gets stronger with use. Number 2, memory retrieval. Don't reread, recall. When learning something new, most people reread again and again. But science shows that active recall is far more effective. Try writing down what you remember. Teach it to someone. Quiz yourself. It rewires your hippocampus to store and retrieve information faster. Number 3, novelty exposure. Try something new. Your brain loves novelty. Doing unfamiliar things, taking a new route home, learning a language, trying a musical instrument. These trigger dopamine and BDNF. That's how new neural connections form. And that's how neuroplasticity gets stronger. Number 4, mindful focus. 1 tab at a time. Multitasking splits your attention and lowers your performance. Instead, try on single tasking. Turn off notifications. Close extra tabs. Focus fully on one thing. This strengthens attention pathways and builds mental endurance. Number 5, digital detox. Reclaim your attention. Constant notifications train your brain to crave distraction. So give your brain a break. Set phone-free hours. Use grayscale mode. Delete apps that hijack your focus. Less noise. More clarity. These aren't hacks. They're habits. Practice them daily, and your brain will change. Literally. Your brain is not broken. It's just been overwhelmed and undertrained. But now, you know better. You've seen how focus, memory, and neuroplasticity aren't fixed traits. They're trainable, changeable, buildable. And you've learned 5 tools, backed by science, to reshape your brain. Pomodoro to sharpen focus. Active recall to boost memory. Novelty to spark new growth. Single tasking to build endurance. And digital detox to reclaim your mind. Use them, not once, but daily. Because the brain you'll have tomorrow starts with the habits you build today. And we're not done yet. In the next video, we're diving even deeper. Why your brain ages and what you can do about it. You'll discover the surprising truth behind mental aging and learn how to stay mentally sharp for decades to come. See you there.